What is going on, guys? We are back with another video. We have the race car 07 GT500 stick shift Coyote swapped 07 GT500 up on the lift. At the last event at FL2K, we started to experience some clutch failure. It wasn't slipping, but it wasn't fully disengaging. New issue. We're rolling. So if I roll through the beams, I'm done. Yeah. Would have the car creep on the two-step. It also was not allowing to engage all the gears. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is get this trans pulled out of here. We have a Mantic triple disc that we're gonna be throwing in this thing. This is a special one made up for this car. That's what we're gonna be throwing in. I also have a face-plated T56 Magnum coming in for it, so that's gonna be pretty sweet. First time face-plated, so we will be doing clutchless shifting. And I have a Bangshift Billy digital slipper valve going in this. I will show you guys all of this here momentarily. We're gonna get started and rip out the trans. I'll show you what we have for the car real quick. And the trans hasn't even got here, so my plan is hopefully I get this trans ripped out, trans comes in via freight and slap it in and I'll be ready to go. This setup has been an absolute trooper. Gen 2 Coyote, stock bottom end, valve springs, head studs, lockouts, and oil pump gear, crank gear. Everything else is stock, ring gap, bearings, everything. Bone stock bottom end. Holding down around 1100 wheel horsepower. We are getting close to maybe changing that bottom end, especially now that we'll have a clutch that'll support it. We have a trans that support it, and then we can upgrade this tiny 76 for an 88, and we'll go real fast then. Ignore this white wire. If you guys watched the last video, you know that this was the ghetto fix for the clutch letting go, and this car saved my life because it went into all the gears.
But he is looking at Mustang taillights right now. Remember, we can't go too quick. 954 is the breakout. 943 for the Mustang. He goes too quick. Oh, and into the wall as somebody hit the brakes, and then 350Z all over the place.
You know, on that last pass, we went a 9.5? No, we went a 9.4 on the brakes with this car. And the clutch worked on one last pass, and then we just barely missed that 350Z from taking out the rear quarter. They had to check the car to make sure that it didn't get hit, but it did not get hit. Next race, we definitely want to go for a win. So we got a lot of good parts coming for it. It should be pretty sweet. Okay, so here's some of the parts that we're working with. We have a new Ford short style slave cylinder, Mantic triple disc, solid hub. This thing's gonna be wild. We got some shim plates. We'll go ahead and measure and make sure that's all good. We have the Bangshift Billy slipper valve, which we can actually see right here. I'm very excited to try this out. I'll show you guys the install on this. And this thing should be pretty sweet. So I should be able to connect through Bluetooth, as you can see right there. And this is gonna go somewhere over here with my clutch stuff over there. And it's going to actuate the pedal, and then I can go ahead and program it digitally to dial in the 60 foot. And you guys are gonna get to see that firsthand when we go out and test it. This is something that can be bolt on for a stock Mustang, and it's also universal for any hydraulic based clutch system. So I'll show you guys that on this car. All right, that didn't take too long. Here's my Magnum XL. We bought this brand new last year. No real problems with it. Looking pretty good. This is the faceplated trans. Ignore how ugly this looks. This one's faceplated. So it also came with an MGW shifter. Shout out to Jacob for giving me the info on this. We're gonna go ahead and tear out the rest of the bell housing and the clutch in there and start getting the Mantic mounted up, measured, and then we'll plop this whole faceplated guy right in there. I think we're gonna use my original S5 bell. It's probably got a newer date on it, but we'll have this one as backup. All right, so trans is out. All the stuff is out. We got the Mantic right here. Take off the main disc. I'm gonna set that down like that. Same thing with this one. Take that, set that down. So this is a solid hub disc. Oh, I might need some hands for this. So that's pretty wild. We're gonna go ahead and take this, lay that down like that. Take the next set, lay that down like that. It's labeled flywheel side. There's a lot of discs in here. And then we're good to go ahead, get the flywheel on. So we were working with a time crunch, so we got a completely rebuilt disc and then a resurfaced flywheel. So we should be good to go. That's all nice and smooth. So, oh, forgot about that. All the bolts. So these are a little tricky to install, so you gotta hold them like this. And then we'll take the bolts, slide them through. And they lock in on the back side. Take the lock. That locks in right there. Do this all the way around, and then you gotta hold it kind of sideways when you bring it up and into the car and start bolting it in. Okay, so the Mantic triple disc is in. They have these marks here. Black Sharpie goes all the way through. Line up all those 3 fingers. And torqued. I went ahead and marked it with white, so that way if I know if any of these bolts moved. 25 foot-pounds on the pressure plate bolts. And we are ready to put the bell housing back on. And then we gotta go ahead and measure to see the preload, make sure the bearing's good, and make sure we got the right spacers for this setup. So I'm gonna throw the bell housing on and we'll get back to it. Okay guys, so a little bit cooler this morning. Just got the measuring done. We ended up with about a 550 on the preload based on the instructions here. It needs to be between 0.5 and 0.625 with preload. We got that, we got about a 550. So that's looking pretty good. Now, we just gotta toss the transmission in here. So, our nice, pretty Mag XL, chilling there, has 5th and 6th. Here's the new race car unit. I really wish this wasn't painted black. It would probably still look pretty nice. But, we're gonna leave the shifter off for now. We'll put that in car. Pretty much same type deal, T56 Magnum XL, but this one is faceplated. And it has a 5th and 6th removal. So it only has 1 through 4 faceplated, so it's gonna make big noise when you put it in gear. And we should be able to clutchless shift now. We got the shim plate provided by Mantic. This is what's given us our proper preload. We have the GT500 short style slave, and it should be good to go. The best thing about these T56s is the separating bell housing. If I needed to swap the transmission or wanted to run a streetcar class or something like that, we could swap that in and out very easily. Okay guys, so my car setup is gonna be a little bit different, but this is the valve itself. So you can see it has the plug there. The first step we're gonna do is just get this mechanically plumbed. My car is going to be different than your cars, but I have my slave master over there. I just popped off the clutch line, which is right there. And we're going to go ahead and attach this one. This one's the one that goes to the clutch, goes directly to the slave cylinder. So we're going to go ahead and attach that to right there. And I'm going to get I should have a 4 AN line to go from there over to the master, and then we will be mechanically plumbed, and then we got to do a little bit of wiring. I'm going to see if I can mount the module inside the car, see if we have enough length to make that happen. I think we do, so I'll update you guys there. I do need to cut out my white wire. This is ugly. Okay, so we actually have it plumbed now. We got the AN line at the master. Got this over here. We're gonna mount it somewhere in this general area. This is going down to the slave. We're gonna run our wiring, kind of figure out all that, and figure out a permanent location for everything. But that part is plumbed. All right, so I just wrapped the exposed wires in some loom. We're gonna go ahead and plug in the slipper valve that was already loomed, nice, just like that. I'm gonna plug it in, feed it through the firewall, and start the wiring on the inside. All right, so I finished up getting the shifter, and we got some things kind of tidied up here. I still got to wire the rest of the Bangshift Billy. But before we go any further, let's make sure that we can start it up, put it in gear, make sure things work. I'm gonna do it without the tires on the rear because they rev the body when the rear end is drooped. So we're gonna go ahead and start it. We should hear a nice clunk when we put it in first gear, and even second, third, fourth. Because it's non-synchronized. All right, so we're gonna start it. Pedal's got good pressure, feels pretty good. This is an MGW T56 Magnum shifter and a random shift knob I had laying around because it's different threads. So I'm gonna have to find a different one, or maybe make this work. Got to get a lock washer or lock something there. So this is where, you know, that basically stands. This is a 1 through 4. 5th, 6th delete, and reverse. So let's try to start it up. Gonna pump the clutch, make sure everything's good there. Got the fuel pump going. And fires right up. So if we put it in first gear, it should be a big clunk. And it is. They're at second gear. Ready? Third. And fourth. That's brutal. Everything seems to be working pretty good. So let's make sure that's stopped. And we should have reverse. Reverse works. It is all working. This thing is rowdy. So I'm gonna be putting it in gear at the line. Ready? Woo! That's rowdy. So you release the clutch. Bang second gear. Woo! That is rowdy. Loud. This is how you know you've gone full race car. I had a couple time slips in here. The car only has 500 miles on it. Maybe a quarter mile at a time, but... Okay guys, so what I just went ahead and did is hook up to my Holley input-output module. I use pin number 2 for an output. So we're gonna output when the clutch activation gets triggered. I wired that to the blue wire in the Bangshift Billy. There's only 3 connections to make. Your trigger, your red 12 volt switched, and ground. We have the ground already hooked up. All I gotta do is hook up the 12 volt switched, and we should be in action. We'll do a few things on the Holley, and then we should be all set on the Bangshift Billy. Okay guys, so if we go ahead and switch on power, you see the Bangshift Billy goes ahead and starts up. Probably gonna mount this somewhere behind here, down in there. Eventually I want to put a screen in where the radio goes, but just haven't gotten there. We'll be able to tuck all the wires up and away. I know the wires looks messy, but it's actually not. I mean, obviously rewire eventually will be nice, but everything is organized, well connected, and there are some zip ties. It's just a lot of wires. So we're gonna go ahead and start with some programming, get on the Holley, make sure everything looks good. All right, so I ended up getting it wired. Since I have a Terminator X, unfortunately, we don't have 12-volt outputs. I forgot about that. You need a Dominator for that. So what I did was hook up a relay to the grounding output on the input-output module. So now I have it configured in my Holly. If you look at the screen here, we have a switched input. So when the clutch pedal is active, so when that clutch pedal goes in, that is active. And then it also needs to see these two things. So it'll activate when front wheel speed is below 3 miles an hour, so stopped. And it will also, and it'll deactivate at 5 miles an hour if for some reason it's still active. And then the output will activate when TPS is above 80%, so meaning we're on the two-step. So let's go ahead and demo it. So over here on the app, we're gonna have to show this at the track, obviously dialing it in, but let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and put in, like, we'll just call it a 0.5 delay. And I don't know exactly what all these things mean yet, but this is just gonna be our demo. And then we got that saved in there. I believe so. Yep, so you can see 0.5, 0.5. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pretend we were on the two-step. We clutch in, it's not active yet. Now we're on the two-step and it activate. And if you look at the clutch pedal, so shine it down right at my foot, you'll see that it has this delay as it comes back. This will be basically, we're gonna go stage, clutch in, get on the two-step and drop it. And you'll see that it comes back slowly. I think if let me just try to change this to, I think the baseline settings that I had in here was 0.25. So right now it's on 0.25. So let's try to show the pedal again. The idea here is so that we can sidestep it. So there, get on the two-step, you can see the delay on the pedal. So normally when you're, drop the pedal, if you were to sidestep it, it comes right back, where if you have the two-step active, or if you have this active, you can see the delay right there. Damn, this thing looks like a freaking race car. Well, I guess it is now. We only have 4 gears. Okie dokie, first street drive with the new trans clutch and Bangshift Billy. We're not going to be utilizing the Bangshift Billy right now, but yeah. And we're not going to be going full throttle. Just normal, normal cruise in my street car. Oh, we're in first. It doesn't always clump, just sometimes. So fresh clutch. Going out and testing it. All right. Hopefully we get a nice big clunk. Big clunk. I like it. Freaking race car. So I don't know a ton about these faceplated trans, so if I say anything or do anything that's against the rules of faceplate, you can let me know in the comments. Just don't be too brutal. I think I've heard that some people double clutch on the street. We're going to be running a rev limiter at our shift point when we're going full throttle. We're not doing that today, but we're going to be not using the clutch anymore to shift, which is going to be pretty cool. Wow, that's rowdy. So far, clutch engagement feels pretty good. It's also brand new. Whoa! There's nothing where fifth is. so that's cool. Clutch feels good. I just went in first without a big lump. All right, we'll give you guys my point of view. I always pump the clutch a little bit when I put a new clutch in with these Ford systems. There's no bleeder valve on these, so you just gotta work the bubbles out. I'm gonna wait until we're nice and clear on traffic. We'll hopefully get a nice big clunk. Woo-hoo-hoo! All right, ready? Nice big clunk. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Wow! Race car! All right, guys, it is a beautiful boost weather day, and we're not hitting boost yet, but the Mantic triple disc custom clutch for us is in. If you guys are interested in picking up a clutch, Jeff was super accommodating in figuring out a good clutch combo for this car. We will see how it performs here soon. Bangshift Billy, go check them out. I got a link down below. Digital slip valve, so this will work on any Mustang. For example, that lightning swap over there, it's got a hydraulic clutch, that'll work. This red S197, that'll work. Won't work on that one. That one will not work because that one's got a cable driven clutch. But anything hydraulic, you use a 4AN to basically put that in between. Super easy setup. You can set it up with a Holly, you can set it up with a stock ECU. Go check it out. I will be showing how we dial this thing in. We've already gone 130 something 60 foot slipping the clutch by my leg. Now we'll be able to go ahead and dial that in for the track, the conditions, and we'll be able to go really fast. We got a faceplated Magnum XL with 5th and 6th delete, so we're getting more and more race car. Up next is probably a built short block and send it for the moon for 1600 wheel horsepower and 7s, but we got to get our 8-time slip first, and that is next on our agenda. Make sure you guys hit the like button. It helps get this video out to more people. Comment down below, and we'll see you guys in the next one.